Welcome back to On the Same Page. We are on Daf Ayin Tes Amar Aleph 79a of Maseches Kiddushin. We're on the very bottom line of the page, at the very end of the line, where it says Neima Kitanai. And the Gemara has been discussing a machlokes, a dispute between Rav and Shmuel, with regards to the following case. A father is out on the road, and while traveling, he accepts Kiddushin on behalf of his daughter. Meanwhile, at home, his daughter accepts Kiddushin on her own behalf. Now, this daughter happens to be, we said, 12 years old and 6 months today. So today is the day where we assume that she will go from being a naira to a bogeres. And a naira has the status still of a child, in terms of that her father could accept Kiddushin for her, and she cannot accept Kiddushin for herself. And a bogeres is an adult, and then she leaves her father's domain, and her father can't accept Kiddushin for her, and she could. Now it's the last day, and it's the day where she's expected to undergo to finally complete the physical changes to achieve physical maturity, where she would for sure be considered a bogeres. Now, either way, when she graduates that 6 months, we do consider her a bogeres. But the question is, on that last day, if she has already finished the physical changes, already, whatever point in that day those physical changes occurred, then or completed, at that point she's a bogeres. So they check her, and indeed she has the signs of physical maturity of a bogeres. And the only question now is, when did that happen? Did it happen just now when we checked her? Or did it happen already from the morning? If it happened from the morning, then her father's Kiddushin is no good, because she was already a bogeres at that point. The father, we're assuming, did the Kiddushin in the morning, she did it later in the day. But if we assume we only know the physical changes to have happened at least as of now, but we don't know from before, then we would have to be concerned that she had not yet completed that achieved physical maturity in the morning. And the father's Kiddushin would be a good Kiddushin. This was the subject of a machlokes between Rav and Shmuel. Rav said, we examine her, she's a bogeres, now we're going to assume she's been a bogeres the whole day. And therefore the father's Kiddushin is no good, her Kiddushin is good. Shmuel said, no, we have to be concerned that this just happened now, later in the day, and earlier in the day she had not yet completed those achieved physical maturity, and she was still a naira, and therefore we have to be concerned for the father's Kiddushin. And also for hers, though, we don't know, so it's a suffix. Says the Gemara, Neima Kitanai. Let's suggest that the machlokes that Rav and Shmuel are having is the same machlokes as the following Tanaim have. Top of the next page, the Gemara is discussing, it's going to bring in a case of the following. Actually, if you want to take a look at Rashi, the top Rashi on the page, Rashi says, we're going to jump right in, mi motzi miad mi, the Gemara is going to say, and we'll explain that in a moment, but Rashi is going to lay out the case that we're dealing with. Hakosev nechasav la'achirim. The case is where somebody writes off all his possessions as gifts to other people, veloshir klum, and he doesn't leave anything over. Dekaimalon, says Rashi, we hold in such a case, bishchiv meira, if he is somebody on his deathbed, and then he gets better, she'ein matanaso matana im amad. If he gets better, then the gift, he's able to retract the gift. A man is on his deathbed, he gives away everything he owns, and then he gets better. So he's allowed to retract that gift. Digali daite, because he has revealed midolo shir midi, from the fact that he didn't leave anything over, he gave everything away, that he was only giving it away because he was about to die. Vim bari haya. But now he got better, so he's able to retract it. That's assuming he was actually someone who was about to die. V'im bari haya, but if at the time that he gave away everything he was actually healthy, he wasn't sick and about to die, matana so matana, then his matana is good. His gift is good. V'achshav hu omer, and so he gave a gift, and now he's saying, shchiv meira hayisi, I was on my deathbed, I was sick when I gave the gift, and now I'm better, and it should be returned to me. And then the recipients are saying, Bari Haya, no, you are perfectly healthy, and your gift is a gift. And also, not only that, but they actually, we'll talk about a case where they seized the gift, or they already have the gift in their possessions. And the question is, now we can go back to the Gemara, Mi motzi miad mi. Who has the right to extract it from the other's possession? So if the person who gave the gift, if he promised the gift but he still has it, are the recipients allowed to say, you gave it to us, you promised it, and or you transferred it? If they did a transaction that would transfer it, you've transferred it to us, we're going to come and take it from you. Are they allowed to do that? If they already did seize it from him, is he allowed to take it back? So again, the difference, they're arguing over the following. If he was in fact on his deathbed, then the matana, or he was sick, then the gift is no longer a gift if he recovers. Specifically, by the way, if he gave everything away. If he left anything for himself, that's an indication he wasn't really doing it only because he was going to die. Because if he really thought he was going to die, he wouldn't have left anything for himself. So it's only when he gives everything away that he's able to retract it if he gets better. So that's the case. He gave everything away. He's saying, I was sick, and I thought I was going to die, and now that I'm better, I want to retract and take it back. And the recipients are saying, no, you were perfectly healthy, and it's a good gift. So mi motzi miad mi, who has the ability to seize it from the other? So says the Brisa, hu motzi miyadam. He's allowed to extract it from them below raya without proving anything. Vehain, and they ein motziim miyado below raya. They cannot extract it from him without proving that he was in fact healthy. Divrei Rabbi Yaakov, that's the opinion of Rabbi Yaakov. So Rabbi Yaakov saying that if somebody gives away all their possessions, we make an assumption that he was indeed sick. He doesn't have to prove it. And we don't say, oh, but he's healthy now, so he must have been healthy the whole time. No, we say that he does not have to prove that he was sick when he gave it, and he's allowed to take it back from them, and they would not be able to seize it from him unless they prove that he was in fact healthy. Rabbi Nassan says, Im barihu, if right now he's healthy, alav lahavi raya shayesh chemira. So he has to prove that earlier he wasn't healthy, that earlier he wasn't sick. We assumed him to be whatever he is now. Vim shchim meirahu, and if right now he's sick, aleim lahavi raya shebari haya. Then they would have to prove that at the time he gave the gift, he was actually healthy. The recipients who are claiming, no, you gave it as a healthy man, if he's sick right now, they would have to prove that he was healthy at the time. So, says the Gemara, Nema Rav de Amar Rabbi Nassan, Ushmuel de Amar Rabbi Yaakov. Let's suggest that Rav is holding like the second opinion, Rabbi Nassan, and Shmuel is holding like the first opinion, Rabbi Yaakov. So, going back to the case of the Bogeris, Rav said, if she's a Bogeris right now, we assume she's been a Bogeris the whole time. That would, the whole day. That would fit in with Rabbi Nassan. Rabbi Nassan says, if he's healthy right now, we're going to assume he's been healthy the whole time, and he would have to prove that he was actually sick when he gave the gift. And if he's sick right now, we'll assume he was sick the whole time, and the recipients, if they want to claim he was healthy, they have to prove that. That was Rabbi Nassan's position. Shmuel said, no, even if she's a Bogeris right now, we will be concerned that she wasn't a Bogeris in the morning. That fits with Rabbi Yaakov. Rabbi Yaakov said, even though he's healthy right now, but we have to at least be concerned that he was sick in the morning, or not in the morning, whenever he gave the gift. He was sick at the time that he gave the gift. He was a real, what we call a shchiv meira. He was about to die. He just recovered. And that we have to assume that the gift is not a gift, and they would have to prove that he was healthy in order for them to extract it. So it seems that Rav lines up with Rabbi Nassan, and Shmuel lines up with Rabbi Yaakov. Says the Gemara, Amar lecha Rav can say to you, Anada Amri afilu Rabbi Yaakov. I can fit in even with Rabbi Yaakov's opinion. I can fit with either opinion. Yes, I fit in with Rabbi Nassan, who says that we go based on what we see right now. But I can also fit with Rabbi Yaakov, because Afilu Adkan lo ka'amar Rabbi Yaakov Hasam. Rabbi Yaakov only said that we have to be concerned that he was sick at the time he gave the gift. That's in that case, Dikula Meimar Hamed Mamon al Cheskaso. Because there we can say that the money has a chazaka of who it belongs to. The gift. Whatever his possessions or the money. So what's the chazaka? What's the established status quo? Is that it's his. So until we prove that it's not, until we prove that he was healthy when he gave it away, so then it remains by him. Aval hacha, but in our case where she's a bogeres in front of us, mi nema hamed guf al chezkaso, would we say that we should leave the body that it has a chazaka that she's not a bogeres? Rav says no, because this is the day that she's supposed to turn into a bogeres, and it can happen anytime during the day. So there's an expectation that it's going to happen today, and therefore there's no chazaka saying that she was a naira in the morning, because even though there is a chazaka maybe saying she was a naira yesterday, but today's the day where we expect her status to change for her to complete her physical maturity, and so there's no chazaka saying she's still a naira, and therefore if she's bogeres now, we'll assume she's been a bogeres the whole day. So Rav says, I can fit with both opinions. Ushmuel Amar, and Shmuel says, Ana da'amri afilu Rabbi Nassan. Shmuel says that I can fit even with Rabbi Nassan. Rabbi Nassan, who said in this case, again, Shmuel certainly fits with Rabbi Yaakov. Shmuel, who said that the bogeres, we have to be concerned that it just changed now, and she wasn't a bogeres in the morning, she was still a naira. So he fits with Rabbi Yaakov, who says that just because he's healthy right now, maybe he just became healthy, but maybe he was sick in the morning or when he gave away the gift, and they have to prove that he wasn't if they want to be motzi mama, if they want to extract the money from him. But how does Shmuel fit with Rabbi Nassan, who says that you go based on what you see in front of you, and if he's sick right now, then the recipients will have to prove that he was healthy at the time he gave the gift. If he's healthy right now, he have to prove that he was sick at the time he gave the gift. That you go based on what you see in front of you. So Shmuel Amar Anada Amri Afilu Rabbi Nassan. Shmuel says I can fit with Rabbi Nassan. Ad kan lo ka'amar Rabbi Nassan Hasam. Rabbi Nassan only said it there. Dekuli alma b'chezkas briim kaimi. Because right now everybody's healthy. Mandika map in the case where he's healthy. In the case where he's healthy, so he has a chazaka that he's healthy, and so mandika mapik nafshe me chazaka haviale liisuye raya. The one who wants to go against the chazaka has to bring a proof. But here mika mafka nafsha me chazaka dikame. But over here, is she going against a pre-existing chazaka? Today's the day that she changes. There's no established assumption, says Shmuel. So she's not a chezkas. There's no chazaka saying she should be a bogeres. There's no chazaka saying she should be a naira. There's neither, because today's the day that she changes. So if just because she's a bogeres right now, but there's no chazaka saying that she would be a bogeres, and therefore we have to be concerned that she was a naira in the morning, as opposed to in this case. So Rav Nassan had said that if he's healthy, then you have to prove that he was sick at the time he gave the gift. That's because the basic normal state that people are in is healthy. There's a chazaka that people are healthy. So if he's healthy right now, then we should assume he's been healthy the whole time. Now if he's sick, now he doesn't address if he's sick. If he's sick, let me just to make sure we got actually that first point clear. So Shmuel would say that Rabbi Nassan's case is different, because Rabbi Nassan's case right now he's healthy. If he's healthy right now, so makes sense to assume he's been healthy the whole time, because that's the normal state of a person, is in good health. And so if he wants to claim that he was sick when he gave the gift when he's healthy. That's what Rabbi Nassim says. Now, on the flip side, if he's sick right now, why do they have to prove that he was healthy at the time? Don't we say the assumption is that somebody's healthy? That's the basic state of a person. So he should prove that he was sick when he gave the gift. No, but if he's sick right now, so then there's another chazaka working for him, which is the cheskes mamon. He's the owner. He's the one who the money's starting at. So the status quo is that it's his money. So even though since he's sick right now, so even though the normal state of a person is that he's healthy, and the recipients are claiming he was healthy when he gave the gift, they would still need to prove that. Because even though that's the normal state of a person, but if they want to be motzi mamon, if they want to extract money from him, and right now the indication is that he's sick, so they have to prove that at the time he gave the gift, he was indeed healthy. Okay. Fine. So that machlokas Tanayim, we're saying we're not going to say that it's Rav and Shmuel, because both of them can explain why they would fit in even with the two Tanas there. Now we say Nema Kahani Tanai. But maybe Rav and Shmuel are arguing in the same machlokas as the following Tanaim. The same dispute as the following. And this sounds really similar to what they're talking about. It says, Kitsha Avia Baderech. If her father accepted Kiddushin for her on the way. Vikitsha Atzma Ba'ir. And she accepted Kiddushin for herself in the city at the same time, same day. I don't know, we don't. We'll see, I guess. Varei hi bogeris. And we check her, and indeed she's a bogeris. She's an adult. Same case, seemingly, that we've been talking about with Rav and Shmuel. Says the Gemara, Tana Chada, one Tana, there's one Brisa that says, Harei bogeris lefanenu. That says, we treat her like a bogeris, she's bogeris in front of us. And we therefore assume she was being a bogeris the whole time. Her father's Kiddushin is no good, her Kiddushin is the good one. That's one Brisa. Sounds exactly like Rav. Betanya Idach, and the other Brisa says, Chayshinan l'kiddushay shneim, that we have to be concerned for the Kiddushin of both of them. Sounds exactly like Shmuel. We have to be concerned. She was a naira in the morning. My lav, don't we say Chad Karav, Chad Kishmuel? Isn't it that the first one is like Rav and the second one's like Shmuel? They sound exactly like Rav and Shmuel. Says the Gemara, lo. No, we don't have to say that. Idi v'idi kishmuel. Really, they could both be like Shmuel. They could both fit into the opinion of Shmuel. Kan b'makachashto, kan b'she'eng makachashto. When we say, so that just to translate, that means one is where she contradicts him, and one is where she does not contradict him. So the case where, says the Gemara, these two brises aren't arguing, they're just talking about two different cases. The case where we say, well, she's a bogeris right now, and we treat her like a bogeris, and the father's Kiddushin is no good, that's where she, contradicts, or she tells us, actually, I've been a bogeris since yesterday. So we have her word saying that she reached physical maturity already yesterday, and her father's Kiddushin is no good. So she's contradicting her father's Kiddushin. If we have her claim that she was already a bogeris yesterday, so then we will say that she's been a bogeris the whole time, and the father's Kiddushin is no good, and only her Kiddushin is good. And the other case where we have to be concerned for both is where she doesn't make that claim. She doesn't say that. She doesn't know. She says, at some point I became a bogeris. I don't know where I was. So then we have to be concerned that maybe she was still a naira in the morning, and the father's Kiddushin was Kiddushin. So says the Gemara, if that's what we're going to say for the Brisas, if the two Tanaim, if the two Brisas are not arguing, they're just talking about different cases, why don't we say that the Amoraim, Rav and Shmuel, are also not arguing? Maybe they're also talking about two different cases, these two cases. When Rav said that, she's a bogeris in front of us, Rav was talking about where she claimed that she's been a bogeris since yesterday. And Shmuel, who said we have to be concerned that she's been a naira since the morning, in the morning she was still a naira, that's the case where she doesn't claim that she's a bogeris since yesterday. So says the Gemara, V'tizbera. Does that really make sense? We can prove otherwise. Rav Yosef Braid Rav Menashia Midivil. Rav Yosef Menashia of Devil Avad Uvda Kavasei Derav. He paskined in an actual case like Rav. And he said, so we had a similar case like this, where a father accepted Kiddushin out on the road, the daughter accepted Kiddushin there, she became a Bogaris that very day, and he paskined like Rav, that we say she's been a Bogaris the whole day. V'ikbid Shmuel, and Shmuel was makbid, Shmuel took issue with it. V'omar, and he said, Kuli Alma, he said like sarcastically about this rabbi, he said, Kuli Alma kailile bekava zuta. He said, everybody else in the world only got a small portion of wisdom. V'hai midrabanan, this rabbi, kailile bekava rabbi, he got a big portion of wisdom. He thinks he knows better. The Isagadai Dachlo Pligi, and if Rav and Shmuel were not really arguing, and they were just talking about different cases, Amai Kamakbid. Why did Shmuel take issue? Sounds like they disagree on something. Says the Gemara, no, maybe they don't disagree. Dilma ki avadovda b'makachashto. Maybe what happened was that he paskined that this rabbi Rav Yosef Reidra Menashia, he paskined like Rav that we consider Bogaris, but in the wrong case, in the case where she contradicted. Sorry, one second. Sorry, that's part of the Gemara's question. Why would Shmuel have been makbid? Why would he have been concerned about this rabbi going like Rav? Maybe that was a case where she contradicted him, and therefore Shmuel shouldn't have argued. If Shmuel doesn't argue in that case, meaning if really Rav and Shmuel agree, then the fact that this rabbi went with Rav in a certain case, but maybe that was the case of Makrashto, where she was claiming she's been a Bulgaria since yesterday. If Shmuel really agrees to Rav in such a case, why is he taking issue with this? It must be he doesn't agree to Rav in that case. So we come out that they don't, that we can't say the same about the Machlokas Rav and Shmuel. They are arguing whether she contradicts her father's claim and says, or not her father's claim, but she says, contradicts her father's Kiddushin and says, I've been a Bogaris since yesterday. Whether she doesn't, either way, Rav will say, we assume she's a Bogaris, and the father's Kiddushin is no good, and Shmuel will say, we have to be concerned that she was a Naira, and the father's Kiddushin might be good. Amar le Mar Zutra le Rav Ashi. Mar Zutra said to Rav Ashi, Hachi Amar Ameimar. Ameimar said, Hilchas HaKavasei de Shmuel. The halacha is in accordance with Shmuel. Rav Ashi Amar. But Rav Ashi himself says, Hilchas HaKavasei de Rav. The halacha is in accordance with Rav. And the Gemara concludes, the Hilchas HaKavasei de Rav. And indeed the halacha is in accordance with Rav, that we would give her the chazaka. If she's a Bogaris now, we'll assume she's been a Bogaris the whole day, and their father's Kiddushin would be no good, and her Kiddushin would be the good Kiddushin. Okay. Next, Mishnah continues. Mishayatzahu ve'ishto l'medinas hayam. If a man travels with his wife to another country, and it seems we're talking about a Kohen here, because we're concerned about who he marries and etc. So he goes with his wife, who's been checked out. She's someone who's allowed to marry a Kohen. They were married in a proper, based in a proper, rabbi married them off here in Eretz Yisrael or Bavel or wherever it was. Ubahu ve'ishto ubanav. And he came back from Medinas Hayam, and now he has children. Ve'omar, and he says, Isha sheyatzas imi Isha sheyatzas imi Medinas Hayam harei hizu. The wife that I went to another country, this is her. And these are her children. So can we trust him that they're indeed his children, or her children, and that the children are kosher lekahuna, they be kohanim, or etc. So you could potentially have a different case, just in general, not a Kohen, and he goes with his wife, and he come back, and they have children. Do we assume that those children are indeed the children of this union? So the Mishnah says, Ein tzarich lavi raya. He doesn't have to prove it. Lo ala isha v'lo ala banim. He doesn't have to prove that this is the same wife that he had previously, and that he's allowed to be married to her, because we already checked her out, and we believe that it's the same woman. Even maybe we don't recognize her, but we'll believe him. And also, we assume that these are her children. Now we'll see. We're talking about where the children are somewhat attached to their mother. Then we could assume that she's the mother of the children. But Mesa ve'ubanel. But if he says he goes to another country with a wife, and then he comes back and he doesn't have a wife anymore, but he has children. So he says, my wife died, but these are her children. So then, maybe Raya alabanim, he would have to bring a proof that they are indeed her children. Ve'ena maybe Raya ala isha. He won't have to prove regarding his wife, because again, I mean, she's not here anymore, but also we assume that he remained married to her until she passed, and we, again, when he was in this country, they checked her out and she was fine, so she doesn't have to prove that, but you have to prove, I guess with witnesses or something, that these children are actually the children of the woman that he had married under the, after having her checked out. Okay. Now, so again, we have, if he goes with a woman to another country, he comes back with her and her children and children in tow. So he doesn't have to prove, as long as the children are attached to the mother, he doesn't have to prove that it's the wife that's been checked out. He doesn't have to prove that they're their children. If he comes back with just children, so then he would have to prove that the children are the children of the woman that he went to Medinas Hayam with, to the other country with, but he doesn't have to prove anything about the woman. She was already checked out before they moved. If he comes and he says, Isha nasasi Medinas Hayam, he goes there single, and he comes back with a wife and children. So he says, Isha nasas Medinas Hayam. He tells us, I married a woman in the other country. Harei hizu, this is her. Ve'elu banea, and these are her children. So then, maybe Raya Isha, then he has to prove that the woman is of good yichus, a proper lineage, someone he's allowed to be married to. Ve'en tarich lavi Raya alabanim. He would not have to bring a proof to the kids, because once he proves that the wife is good, is of good lineage, someone he's allowed to be married to, then, and the children are attached to her, so clearly they're her children, so then he doesn't have to prove anything about the children. But if he comes back and he says, Mesa ve'elu baneha, he goes there single. He comes back and he says, I married a woman there, and these are her children. So then, he have to prove both that the woman that he married in the other country was of good lineage, and that these are the children of that woman. Because again, since they're not together, she's passed away, there's no way to prove, you can't prove just from the fact that they're attached to her that they are her children, because she's not here for them to be attached to. So you have to prove that she was of good lineage, and you have to prove that he had children with her, and these are the children. Okay, Amar Rabba bar Rav Huna, the Gemara says, Rabba bar Rav Huna says, Bekuan bekruchim achrea. All these cases, like we've been saying, are where the children are attached to her. If they're not attached to her, if they're staying away from her, then it doesn't seem that they're really her children, so then he would have to prove that they are, or that they're of good lineage, etc. Okay, now we have a brisa. The brisa adds another case. Tana Rabban, the rabbis taught, Isha nasasi Medinas Hayam. A man goes to another country and he says, I got married there. And he comes back with her and her children, like we had in the Mishnah. So maybe Raya la Isha, he just has to prove that the wife is of good lineage. He doesn't have to bring a proof about the children, because if they're attached to her, then we assume they're her children. As long as he can prove she's of good lineage, we assume the children are hers if they're clinging to her, and they're also of good lineage. Then it says, though, Umevi Raya ala Gedolim, but he would have to bring a proof about bigger children, older children who are not clinging to their mother, because there's no proof that if they're not clinging to their mother, you don't know for sure that they are her children. But again, like we said, he would not have to bring a proof regarding the younger kids who are attached to the mother. But says the Brisa, when are these words said? Be'isha achas. That's where there's only one wife. Aval b'shtei nashim, but if he had two wives, not that he comes back with two wives, but he says that I married two wives in Medina Sayyam in another country, and then when he comes back to us, though, there's only one wife and a bunch of kids. So then, maybe Raya Isha ve'al abanim. Then he would have to prove not just that the wife is a good lineage, but you have to prove that these children are the children of this wife, and therefore have good lineage, or I guess that the children of the first wife and that she has good lineage. Whether on older children that are more independent or on younger children that are clinging to the mother. Either way, you have to prove that they are actually her kids, because it's possible that they are the children of the other wife, and that since the other wife passed away, so this wife raised them, and that's why they're clinging to her. But since we know, because he's told us, we wouldn't assume that there was another wife or another mother on its own, but since he told us that there was another wife, so we have to be concerned maybe some of these children are the children of the other wife, and then we have to check out either the lineage of the other wife, or we have to verify that these children are not the children of the other wife, and that they are the children of this wife that has come back with him. Because again, just that the fact that in this case, the fact that they're clinging to this woman does not prove that they are her children, because it could be they were the children of the other wife, and that she was the one who raised them, and that's why they are clinging to her. Okay, we'll continue with this discussion more next time.